journey to the media world. My name's Aston. To bring you a match preview of Leicester City versus Aston Villa in the Carabao Cup semi-final on Wednesday the 8th of January. I'm starting a new series on the channel where we get opposition fans to come onto the channel and give us their preview and their thoughts on how their team are doing. Today, and our first guest of the season is Josh, also known as Sportsa, Leicester City vlogger. Josh, if you want to tell the people why they should go and subscribe to your channel, the link will be in the description.
Alright, so I'm a Leicester fan, so I do similar content to you, but Leicester City content. So I do the occasional matchday vlog, sharing the fans' experience. I do match previews like Jude's doing, and the odd match review where I review the players' performances, stuff like that, and give my opinions on the games. Yeah, if you guys could subscribe to my channel, it will be much appreciated.
Yeah, definitely echo what Josh is saying there, doing great content at the moment. Like I say, be in the link in the description. Be sure to go and check out his channel, give it a sub, and you'll be doing a preview as well, won't you, for the semi-final?
Hopefully, yeah, should do.
Okay. So Josh, I bet you're delighted as a Leicester fan this season. Obviously, you could see it a little bit under Brendan Rodgers last season, but this season you've just gone above and beyond. Players like Jamie Vardy really stepping up to the plate. What are your thoughts on the season? Obviously, we were almost halfway through the season and you're in the top four and competing.
Yeah, it's just been brilliant start to the season. At the start of the season, I was hoping for top six, maybe scrape into one of the Europa League positions, but was being in second place in a semi-final of the Carabao Cup. What a start it has been to the season for a Leicester fan, and obviously under Brendan Rodgers, we thought we could do well, but I didn't really think we could be second good at this stage of the season. So I guess hopefully it can continue for the rest of the Premier League season.
Yeah, and I bet there's been a lot of highs this season.
Yeah,
obviously, the season's not over yet, but if you could pick out one highlight this season that you've been surprised about or what you've enjoyed the most, what would that be?
Probably the last minute win against Everton, Ian Atcher, obviously with all the VAR stuff. Yeah, that's probably the highlight of the season, that 90th minute when all the players went over and celebrated with Brendan Rodgers, and that was just brilliant. It was a brilliant moment.
Yeah, great moment. So if we actually move on to Leicester City versus Aston Villa, two-leg semi-finals. Obviously, we go Villa are the visitors to the King Power on Wednesday, the 8th of January. From Villa's point of view, I don't think we expected to do very well in the Cup this season, and that wasn't our main priority. You know, we had to stay up this season, and that is still the main priority. You know, we're in a proper relegation scrap, and we've got to get reinforcements in January. But we're here now. We're in the semi-finals, and we've played our second string team for majority of the Carabao Cup. So for us, I'd be going full strength. Part of me saying, you know, you need to stick with the team that's got you to the semi-final, but against a very strong Leicester side, what are your views on the Carabao Cup and how you've done this season in the Carabao Cup, and is it or was it a priority at the start of the season?
At the start of the season, obviously, like I said, maybe go for a top six or something, and maybe have a good cup run. Obviously, we're in the semi-final now, so obviously we have. It was a bit of a priority. It's either this or the FA Cup. We played pretty strong sides against Newcastle and Everton. Last match against Everton, especially, it was basically our full strength side. I'm expecting a very strong side to go out against Aston Villa, against Wigan last time out in the FA Cup. We had a second team, so yeah, I'm expecting a very strong side, and we really need to prioritise the cup in the semi-final. It's a massive chance to get to Wembley.
Yeah, you mentioned the FA Cup game against Wigan on Saturday. That was your last game. You won 2-0. Was it a bit of a rotation squad?
Yeah, I think it was only Ben Chilwell from the first 11 who was starting that game, and the rest of it was a very rotation squad. We didn't play a proper striker. I think it was Harvey Barnes who went up front. So yeah, it was a very mixed match team. We still managed to get the win. So yeah, it's good to see, and I really do think Brendan Rodgers is going to take this semi-final seriously and put a very strong side out.
Yeah, you mentioned that Harvey Barnes started as striker there. Jamie Vardy been out for the last couple of games. Can you give us any news on whether do you think he'll start on Wednesday?
It's been reported that he's had a bit of a calf injury. His wife's had a baby a couple of weeks ago, but I think he should be back. Brendan Rodgers said he was training just after the Wigan game, so I think he might be ready and fit to play against Villa, but we'll see.
Okay, fingers crossed he's not, because that would help us out a lot. But even if he isn't playing, you've proven that you can, still compete without Jamie Vardy, can't you?
Yeah.
Talking about strikers, Villa have are very limited in terms of strikers. Wesley got injured. We had a very great performance against Burnley. Changed the system 3-4-3. But Wesley, the win came at a cost basically because Wesley got injured. So our only fit striker at the club at the moment is Jonathan Codger, and I do kind of worry about that, because if that's probably one weakness that Leicester City can look to exploit, because he's our only fit striker and he's probably Championship, not even Championship when he was with Villa at best. So do you feel that Leicester can deal with that defensively? Because you've got two great defenders in Johnny Evans and Soyuncu. Am I saying that right?
Yeah. Defensively this season we've been brilliant. Just like you said with Soyuncu and Johnny Evans, they've been brilliant so far this season. I think we're near the top at the most clean sheets in the Premier League so far this season. And I think obviously with no Wesley up front, Codger, like you said, he's not the best of players. So I think we should be able to deal with him upright. But obviously two wingers are pretty good. So I think it's going to be quite tough. But I think with no Wesley, I think that will give us a big advantage defensively.
Yeah, well, with us, you're very strong attacking. You may lack a little bit in terms of a winger, but for us, we're quite weak. Wesley's been a bit of a funny one this season. He's our top signing, and he's only scored 4 goals or 5 goals, something like that. But he scored against Burnley, and obviously he got injured. So when you just think he's getting into rhythm, he gets injured. But saying that, he is a threat. He's a strong man in the Wesley, and he gives defenders a hard time. So I do think we'll miss that, because he does bring other players into the game. So it'd be interesting to see how we adapt to that. I don't think we're going to get a striker in before Wednesday. Well, there's no chance we will. We're linked with a load of players, so for you, we'll only have Jonathan Codger as a striker. So that is positive from your end. We're going to talk about the key men for both sides now. If you want to start with Leicester City, who do you think will be key to what should Aston Villa do to have a chance of stopping your key men?
You probably just need to try and take James Maddison out of the game, put one on Maddison for the whole game and try and take him out. He got rested on Saturday, so I'm assuming he's going to start. So if you can try and stop on midfielders with the likes of James Maddison, Yuri Tillmans, if they start, I think you have a chance of winning. But overall, I think it's been very tough to stop Maddison. He likes to drop in between the gap between the defensive midfield. He's very hard to pick up. But if you can stop him, I think you'll have a decent chance. You could probably control the middle. And yeah, that could give you some good chances going forward.
Yeah, obviously, a very similar player is Jack Grealish of Aston Villa. Now, what's your opinion on, I say similar, but I think they've both got different strengths. I think Jack Grealish is really good at running with the ball, with his feet. It's one of the best I've ever seen in terms of an English midfielder. And James Maddison great at free kicks and stuff like that. So how do you compare the two midfielders?
Yeah, just like I said, Jack Grealish is good on the ball. I say Maddison's good with his first touch, but he's not the best at trying to get past someone. It's little quick movements in midfield. Like I said, he's good at free kicks. He's a good set piece taker. Obviously with Jack Grealish, he's very quick, fast turn, stuff like that. But yeah, I think they are a bit similar. But obviously with James Maddison, he has different threats with his free kicks, just like.
Yeah, well, I think that both of those should be in the Euro 2020 squad.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So James Maddison, in terms of Villa, a bit more Jack Grealish, and no McGinn. We've hammered with injuries at the moment, so Jack Grealish will be the main man, and both Jack Grealish and James Maddison of Leicester will both have to be on top form, won't they, to get anything out of a game. We've mentioned that there's a lot of injuries for Villa's side, and we don't think we're going to. I think we'll field a strong starting 11. So do you want to go ahead and predict your starting 11? Then I'll go and predict mine.
So in goal, we're going to go Kasper Schmeichel. He didn't play on Saturday as Danny Ward came in. Back four, I'm going to go Ricardo at right back, Evans and Soyuncu and Chilwell at left back. Ben Chilwell was the only player who started against Wigan last time out. In midfield, I'm going to go with a three-man midfield. So in that defensive role, I'm going to go with Wilfred Ndidi, Maddison and Tielemans ahead of him, and then a front three of I'm going to go with Damari Gray out wide, Jamie Vardy up front, and Mark Albrighton on the right.
Yeah, so against Burnley, we played a 3-4-3 and that worked very well. Grealish and Wesley were on the ball a lot more, and that's what we need when Grealish is central. I pray to God he plays Grealish in a central role because that's when he's most effective. So for me, I'd stick with the 3-4-3 formation. I found it a bit strange that he didn't play it against Fulham. So in goal, got to be Nyland. We won't get a goalkeeper in before Wednesday. Obviously, Heaton got injured. Back three of Konza, Mings and House. Mings being exceptional this season. Wing backs Gilbert and Target. The two sitting through the two midfielders of Louise and Conor Hourihane, and then the front three of Jack Grealish on the wing, but giving him more of a free role as a cam, and then Anwar El Ghazi and Jonathan Kodjia as our only fit striker. I'd love to see that. I think Jack Grealish would be, more suited to playing in the cam. And yeah, is there anything else you'd like to add or mention about the game?
Like I said, if you're going to go with that formation, teams last season, especially in the club, bar for lots of Cardiff, Southampton, they really sat back, if you're going to go with a back five defensively and go forward with a three, but I think it could cause problems if you sit back with that five at the back or then going with three going forward. I think you could cause them some problems on the counter, especially with the two wing backs if they can come forward as well.
Yeah, the only thing I think about playing that formation is Smith said that he adopted that formation because of the aerial threat against Burnley, and I don't think you'll pose that. You very much, get the ball on the floor, get it through to Jamie Vardy, James Maddison. So I don't know if he would. I want him to stick with that because I think that's what works best. But I just get this feeling from Smith that he might go back to 4-3-3. I really hope he doesn't because we've proven that he doesn't work. So I pray to God he plays a 3-4-3. But nearly coming to the end of the preview now. You want a score prediction?
King Power, home advantage. I'm going to go with a 3-1 win to Leicester. I'm going to go with Jamie Vardy to get 2 and Maddison to get 1. And the bit of goal scorer being Grealish.
Okay, that's a tough one to take, that is, for us. I'm going to go... I don't see us winning at King Power. Definitely not with the striker situation. Give me a draw, 2-2. I'll go Grealish, Mings to score from a header, Maddison and Vardy to get the 2 for you. Take it back to Villa Park. Hopefully we'll have a striker by the end of Jan, and then we can go all guns blazing at Villa Park. Anything else you want to add or want to say?
I think the game at King Power is going to be vital. If Leicester can go to Villa Park with an advantage, I think we'll probably go through. But like I said, if you can grab a draw, maybe even win, it's going to be very tough for Leicester to get anything at Villa Park. Obviously, semi-final at Villa Park, I can imagine it being a sellout and a good atmosphere. So I think you'll make it very tough for us, but I'm confident that we can get into the final.
Yeah, just got one more question at the very end there. You obviously played us in December in the league. What do you think went so well? You beat us 4-1. What do you think went so well against us then that you could maybe take into the league game? I mean, the cup game, sorry.
Yeah. So back then in December at Villa Park in the Prem, we played a different formation. We didn't play any wingers. We played a 4-1-2-1-2 type of formation with Vardy and Ian Atchett up front. Early stages of the game, I think you got a lot of good chances down the sides, which you could have took it. Obviously, our guards hit the bar, but with that formation, we really packed out that midfield and it gave us a lot of chances to go on the counter with Vardy and Ian Atchett up front. And I think it really worked well. And the game was pretty open on that day, which allowed Leicester to really dominate the game and get Vardy in behind quite a few occasions.
Yeah, we definitely saw that, and the scoreline showed that. Hopefully, not a repeat of that, like I keep saying. Thank you so much, Josh, for coming on. Make sure you go and subscribe. Link will be in the description. Turn on your post notifications on the channel if you haven't already, and subscribe to my channel if you're the first time watching this. Thank you once again. Until next time, goodbye. Up the Villa. If you enjoyed that video, why not watch another? Click here to watch them in full. Also subscribe if you're new so you can follow my journey into the media world.